Psych. That's not happening. We going to hour 40.
Yo, we've been consistent like the last 3 episodes. Hour 40. We got you.
Yeah. Nah, but last time we're gonna split the what's it called again? The season awards, just like the NFL one, so we can keep them a little shorter. All right, hey man, episode 25, 25. First 25 that comes to mind, bro. Austin Rivers, because he's playing right now.
I could look at Austin Rivers wearing a 25 jersey and still say Jason Giambi.
Oh,
that's my guy.
Gleyber Torres, but he hasn't earned it yet. He earned it in 2019, and then had to give up the jersey.
Yeah, exactly.
Jason Giambi. Jason Giambi. Bro, okay, episode 25. This, if you've tuned into our last 2 episodes, you know that 2 episodes ago we did a MLB update recap, basically everything that we've missed from the last 6 months. Last episode we did an NFL update. NFL is in its postseason right now. We made some picks last week. I definitely got my pick wrong with the Patriots. It was my most wrong pick out of all of them. Out of all of them, yeah. I said it was going to be a shootout. Like, not even a defensive struggle. Like, Pats, Bills was going to be a close game. They got smoked.
You know why, though?
Barbecued. Oh, Josh Allen is an absolute menace.
Other than that, like the Bills were unstoppable. There's nothing you guys could have done to stop them. But y'all should have put up at least 25 more points than you did. Like, I'm capping a little bit, but like, do you see the amount of drop passes in the first quarter?
Oh, of that game? Yeah, dog. No, we have no receiving core.
I think you dropped 6 straight passes from Mac. I mean,
to the chest, no receiving core. Yeah,
to the chest, through the hands, hit you in the chest, bounce off your hands again, drops.
Yeah. Listen, if there was anything majorly wrong with the Patriots in the last decade, which you can look at that team and say, how is there anything wrong with a team that has won 8, has been to 10 Super Bowls and won 7 Super Bowls in the last 2 decades? Anything wrong? Receiving core was always shaky. There was a stretch where we had an elite receiving core: Randy Moss, Wes Welker, Dante Stallworth, guys like that, and then we lost the Giants 2 times. Shane knows.
I know.
Listen, that's my most wrong pick. The other closely wrong pick, which, I mean, if anybody has eyes and watched the game, was the Dallas Cowboys game. I thought they were going to wash San Francisco. They fumbled so hard.
I don't remember.
Not even literally.
I don't remember what my pick was for that game. But like when the game started, I was like, I kind of assumed the Cowboys. I thought it was gonna be Cowboys winning, but I didn't think they were gonna win big. Like I once the game started, I was like, wait, the Cowboys are either gonna lose this game, or it's gonna be like 20-19. Like it was gonna be one of those games.
There's something that happens every single time with the Cowboys. They go in the first round of the playoffs, and they just forget. They forget how to play football, bro. They forget how to play football. They have 14 penalties the entire game. The first quarter, they were littering the field with flags. Like, it was sick. They had fans crying by the second half. Deebo Samuel put on a clinic. Elijah Mitchell, who's like their 3rd-string running back, put on a clinic on a top defense this year. Like, just didn't make any. They forgot how to play football.
The Cowboys, Dak is not very good. Like, he's a fantasy guy. He's like another Jalen Hurts, but better. Where it's like, he's going to give you points in fantasy, but can you win a Super Bowl with Dak?
Yeah, that's what it's looking like, man. It's like the guy can stat pad, but he might not be built for the postseason. He might be built just for the regular season.
And even just regular thought process. You took off. You started the play with 10 seconds left. No, I think it was 14 seconds
Yeah,
left.
it's 14 seconds left.
And you ran for like 30 seconds. Like you was
yards.
out there
He was
running
jogging
forever. And then you're going to say, spike it. Now you know good and well you can't spike the ball in that time. When you know the ref has to touch the ball.
Not even. He put the ball down and was like, all right, we're going to spike it. The ref has to touch the... Like, you an NFL player, man.
He did the right thing.
You know the 2-minute offense. The wrong thing was him putting the ball down. That's what I'm putting. That's what I'm saying.
I don't think so. You know why? You know why I don't think that was the wrong... And there's only one reason why I think. No, because the ref is still 40 yards out. Like, the ref waited till the play was over to run. So, if for you to wait for the ref, you have to wait, hand him the ball, then you have to run behind center. No, put the ball on the floor, run behind center, and wait.
But then you can say, okay, the ref screwed this play up for me, like he did say in the post game. He was utterly wrong to say that in the post game because he put the ball down
and in the wrong spot,
which
so the
gave
ref
him
had to pick up the ball.
exactly. And then not only that, he set the line down as if they were ready to call hike. The ref had to come flying into play and stop the entire thing and say, "Yeah, knocked him over, held him down, like a bodyguard outside a club, bro. Like it was serious." And then, the Cowboys lose. 3 seconds left, 2 seconds left, 1 second. Dak goes under center. The game is over. Cowboys fans leave crying.
I think you have to. Well, it's also on the coach because in the moment, who's really thinking, stop running, don't get the extra 5 yards? Like no one's thinking that. The issue is you got to understand that the ref is not really allowed to move. If you're the backfield,
the
back judges, I
forgot what they call them.
You're not allowed to really move because you have to throw a flag from behind the plate. The issue is the guy waited until Dak slid to then go, crap, and then you see him running in.
But it's not just even him, because you also got the line judge who specifically stands on the sideline and looks at the line for penalties just as much, and he also calls the spot of the line of scrimmage, like he's standing there at the line of scrimmage. And Dak, when Dak puts the ball down, he's essentially saying, I know where I got down, which he could be right about that, right? He might not have put it in the wrong spot. The ref was too far to see the play. But don't set your line. Don't move anybody. You should have had a clear path for the ref to get to the ball. So all he's got to do is literally tap the ball. You get set. Everyone's right there, and you spike it. There was a lot of things wrong. A lot of things got a lot better.
I was like, if this is how they lose, this is payback for all of the trash that they was giving the Giants, because the Giants sucked. I understand. You had to beat us like you did. This is all the trash coming back to you guys. This is payback. Good. And then you hear Romo talking about, oh, man, if this is how they lose, oh, man, if I'm a Cowboys fan, I'm very upset. Bro, you should be a Cowboys fan. You kept the Cowboys relevant for mad long.
If I'm a Cowboys fan.
I was sitting there like, come on, Tony Romo. Like, you're so out of touch, bro. You're so out of touch. That was a good game, though. I was hoping that they tied it up. Like, I just love overtime and everything.
Yeah, a lot of games actually to come close. Raiders, Bengals came kind of close. I mean, at the same time, there was an equal amount of blowouts. Tampa slaughtered the Eagles. Rams,
rightfully so.
Yeah, beat up on the Cardinals.
And surprisingly, because Cooper Kupp did not see the ball. Cooper Kupp could not get open. Odell was playing like he should have played in 2017 or whatever year that was against the Packers.
I was going to say, because actually OBJ was cooking that game. But Kupp did catch a couple passes. It just he didn't put up OBJ's
he had
numbers.
25 yards the whole game or something small, but like he was a decoy.
He didn't put up his usual. It was just, you know what it is the Rams just overpowered them every facet. Defense, special teams. They didn't have to pass to Cooper Kupp 40 times. It also saved Stafford probably throwing 3 picks that game. Kyler Murray needed help. I was about to say
he pulled a Stafford throwing that stupid pick 6 on the 3.
Oh my
God. A 3-yard pick 6. Like, who does that? Take the safety. He did the same thing Stafford did like week 7. You're getting a sack. Why are you throwing the ball? Don't throw it up. In the heat of the
moment, it felt like it was fine. Only because, you threw a pick 6. I guess you get the ball back. You get sacked for a safety. You also lose the ball. There's logic to it.
But you have 6 extra points instead of 2.
I know. Well, what did they score again? That's 9 extra points.
Which they would have, because
they would have.
They were running up and down the field. All you saw was the Rams going right back and forth like this. I was like, man, that was bad.
Sick stuff.
You know what the craziest thing though? I looked at the stats from the Pats game. I don't want to bring up bad memories.
Oh, I don't care about that.
The Bills, I've never seen any team be as dominant as they were that game.
Oh yeah.
It was 7. I think they had 7 or 8 possessions the whole game.
Yeah.
Touchdown.
They scored on every single possession they had without a field goal or a punt.
There's pick, nothing.
First team to ever do that.
I was like,
not just playoffs, like to ever do that in a game. On a
No
Belichick
fumbles,
defense.
and I'm about to say on Belichick, that's almost impossible.
Let me tell you that Josh Allen is a bad man. I'm gonna hate play. I'm gonna hate being in the AFC East for a while as a Pats fan because we need the only thing we need to do is develop Mac Jones to be an elite
and
passer.
get him some actual wide receivers instead
Get
of
him some
the
actual receivers. Right, like
D three
we almost
journeyman.
there.
That only
And
works with Tom. You
Josh
can't
Allen's in
give
the
him
way.
D three journeyman and expect him to
Yeah,
be nice. Only Tom Brady could do that.
Josh Allen's gonna be in the way for a while. That's all I know. I hope
You know what?
the Bills
Here,
crash and burn.
before
But
we get to basketball, you know what's crazy?
yeah.
You know what I heard?
What's that?
It was on Tiki and Tyranny because they have the 10 a.m. show on the Fan, and whenever I drive to
Uh-huh.
work, I listen to them,
Yeah.
and they said something that that blew my mind, and I actually love it. The Giants are interviewing Joe Shane, or it's spelled Shone, but his name is Joe Shane, to be
Okay.
their GM.
Yeah.
That's the
who
Bills'
is
assistant GM.
okay?
Then Brian Daboll, the Bills' assistant offensive coordinator, they're interviewing him to be the Giants' head coach.
Okay. Keeping it in the
So
family.
the Giants said, so Tiki, I think Tiki said it. He said, now all the Giants need to do now, outside of the draft, is to find a good enough quarterback to be either competition for Daniel Jones or just to be the starter next year. Even if Daniel Jones is on the team, he hasn't shown you enough.
I know a name.
They said, how about Mitchell Trubisky?
Oh wait, that's not the name I was thinking of.
And I said, I'm listening to the radio. I'm like, why the hell would they ever get Trubisky? And
he's
when
also
I thought
the
about it, he's the Bills' backup quarterback.
Yeah, that's okay.
Brian Daboll was like, he's like, the way the Bears use Trubisky is not how Trubisky's supposed to be used. He said, I've been studying Trubisky all year. I know how to use Trubisky. And I got chills. I was like, imagine Mitchell Trubisky on the Giants throwing TDs. I was like, bring him in. Because he's only going to cost like the vet minimum of like $1.5 million or $2 million instead of trading for Russell Wilson and spending $20 million against the cap, or trading for Deshaun Watson and spending $40 million against the cap. Give me Mitchell Trubisky for $2 million to be the Giants' backup quarterback, and then God forbid Daniel Jones gets hurt again, which he will. Throw him in there. He pulls a Mike White, goes crazy in New York, becomes the next Giants quarterback for the next 10 years. It's fine me. I'm all in. Sign me up. Bring in everyone from the Bills. Joe Shane, Brian Daboll, and Mitchell
logic.
Trubisky.
Your logic actually is flawless. The one misstep is that it's Mitchell Trubisky.
He sucks.
It's like you look at the resume, right? And you know what you're dealing with. That's the only flaw.
But the only thing is that you got to look at it like this. Josh Allen is only Josh Allen because Brian Daboll is a genius, and he trained him. So if he says, I know how to use Mitchell Trubisky, you got to believe him. You have to.
I can see it, yeah.
So that's my only thing. You have to believe him. Once again, Mitchell Trubisky could go out there and throw 8 picks as usual. But you kind of got to believe him.
A whole new organization. I mean, technically, by your logic, he would be under Bill's head coaching, GMing. It looks promising, yeah. Just you got to see how it plays out. That's the only other way.
All Giants fans are like, trade for Russell Wilson. That's $20 million against the cap. $20 million against the cap. And then Deshaun Watson is $40 million against the cap. And then if they were to
ever get, he has off of field issues still withstanding. So
and then they were like, oh, you could get Aaron Rodgers if he wins the chip this year. And it's like,
that's a stretch.
No, because they were like, if he wins the chip, he has a second one. People are off his back now. So now he can go and revive another franchise to glory. So they were like, you can get Aaron Rodgers, but with Aaron Rodgers, I don't think he wants to either. 100%. No. He doesn't care about anybody.
He's gonna host Jeopardy next year. That's what he's planning to do.
So if he were to get signed by the Giants, it would be a dead cap. So whatever he's making is what goes against the cap.
Mm-hmm.
Like Deshaun Watson, you have to pay more against the cap than what he's actually making.
Mm-hmm.
Russell Wilson is about half. So he's making about 40, but it's only 18 or 19 million against the cap. Whatever Aaron Rodgers makes, that's it. And I'm like, man, That sucks because that's a dead cap hit. Like, there's nothing you could do. You can't say, oh no, incentives. No. If you're paying 40 million next year, that's 40 million against the cap, and there's nothing
Yeah.
you can do about it.
And you don't even know if that's going to be guaranteed full season of 40 million.
Because remember, he's still playing. Well, he's not in New York, so I guess the rules don't count for the New York teams. Mm-hmm. It's in Jersey. But if Murphy turns into what's his name, De Blasio, and it's like, yo, can't come into the arena if you're not vaccinated. Hey, Aaron Rodgers not your quarterback anymore. You still got to pay 40 million. Yep.
Yeah, that's gonna be a whole nother issue. Actually, that kind of translates exactly what we're gonna head into, because we're about to talk about basketball, and we should probably kick off talking about the Nets. I mean, if we want to kick off talking about how the basketball season's going so far, it's not even halfway through still, or it's a little over halfway.
It just got to halfway like yesterday.
Yeah, but overall, good season so far. Like a few standout teams that I think have been pretty dominant. I think the East has been more dominant than the West this year so far. Like, it's been a long time. And then there's a few teams, just like you can count them on one hand, I guess, that everyone expected to be dominant this year have flopped so far. And we'll get to them, because one of them is obviously the New York Knicks, if you couldn't tell by their season standing. But if we want to talk about teams that are surging, that are still playing pretty well, start off the first half with a good step, a good pathway to the chip this year, you got to talk about your Brooklyn Nets. How are you feeling about them Brooklyn Nets?
Everybody knows how I feel about the Nets. I've been a Nets fan from when the Nets were hot garbage. So I'm soaking this up. As long as they're viable and competing for a championship, I'm happy. Of course, the whole Kyrie situation could be better, but I'm not blaming Kyrie. How many people don't want to get vaccinated? The issue is he's making $40 million, and people expect that to be enough to make him get vaccinated. If you don't want to get vaccinated, you don't want to get vaccinated, man. But on the basketball court, I will say the Nets, they hit a little rough spot now. Nets can't play defense for 48 minutes. They will literally go from the best defensive team in the NBA to the worst in 10 seconds. And it's the worst 10 seconds because it'll be fourth quarter tie game, 92-92. And the Nets will get buckets and somehow get matched bucket for bucket, because KD is going to make, it feels like 98% of the shots he takes. James Harden is going to get fouled and make his free throws. And then you look up the other end and you have, I don't even know, name some role player on another team. Like, you have Kevin Knox. Like, he doesn't even get in the game. Kevin Knox getting 3 after 3 after 3. And it's like, how?
He's on the Hawks now. I don't even know that man. That man's like, a stranger to me.
He's just getting buckets. And it's like, Nets, you don't even have to be the best defensive team in the league. Just play good enough defense to win the game. So we went through a little stretch where we were losing a bunch of those games where it's like we're playing the Clippers. Like, how are we losing to the Clippers when we were up 15? It makes no sense. But then now KD's hurt. So now Kyrie's 100% needed. But once again, he's still not vaccinated. I heard the Nets are willing to take the fine of letting him in the arena, which is only $70,000 a game. Which,
considering you played half the season already,
and on top of that, that's
another 20 games at home, right?
Exactly, and they already saved so much money not paying Kyrie. So if you think about it,
might as well.
They got millions
it could make
back.
Sense.
So they're only going to have to pay about $500,000, $800,000 for the rest of the year.
I mean,
not even. It's $80,000. They're only going to have to play what, like another 15, 20 games? That's easy money.
Yeah. That all makes sense. The other hard part about that is Kyrie could literally recatch COVID and infect the entire team, and it goes down south even worse.
But you got to also remember, you could get COVID vaccinated. You still got to sit out.
Right. But he's unvaccinated. I think the rules are still different for the unvaccinated players. Like, across like all sports, I think it's like they got to sit out longer. They got to test more.
I think it's 10 days minimum for unvaccinated, but for vaccinated, you sit out 5.
Yeah.
5 days is still 5 days.
In 5 days, but you can test you can test negative within those 5 days and still come back.
Oh, okay.
Because a lot of NBA, yeah, a lot of players had been doing that like first half of the season. But if again, like the unvaccinated thing, it still screws you guys up. I think only because, listen, Kyrie is a part of that team. He was a part of that team practically the entire year last year. The reason why y'all were a 2 seed and basically should have been in the finals last year.
He's low-key the reason we weren't the 1 seed. Because he just
wait, how so?
Well, it's not just him, but him, KD, and Harden would get hurt at the worst times.
Well, I remember Harden getting hurt at like the worst time.
Yeah. So it's like
at the last 10 games of the season.
Yeah, and then we lost like 6 of them. So then we ended up dropping to the 2 seed, and it's like we should have been the 1. And if we were the 1 seed, we would have faced the Hawks in that second round, and we would have blew them out.
I'll tell you though, and this is coming back to like this year. I'm looking at your schedule, and a lot of those games that you guys you had like win lose. Those are like rescheduled games. You had one against like Portland.
We played 4 games in 5 nights, and one was a back-to-back where we played in Brooklyn one night, and then the next night we played in LA. Like, how is that even possible? That's disrespectful.
They're kind of screwing you with the schedule, but I still like. I guess that's just because COVID's still an issue, right? Like they pushed those games because they were serious. Like they canceled that Portland game. What was that, a month ago? And then they pushed it like to now. I don't know, man. I mean, you beat the Wizards today. Cavs are a tough team, right? You had to go up against Jared Allen again. Man, that's one of the teams I had listed. It's Cavs. Who's up there? Obviously Brooklyn, Miami. The Sixers on a streak right now. They're actually like
Bulls. Like, who thought the Bulls were going to be anything this year? Well, knew they were going to be good, but not this good. They're the 1 seed.
I didn't think they were 1 seed potential. I'll give you that much because the Bulls in the 1 seed right now looks crazy.
What you got to remember though, my boy DeMar DeRozan has never been denied in the East.
That's also true.
Every year he was in the Eastern Conference, he was either the 1 or the 2 seed, and it was like clockwork. The only issue is
he was carrying Toronto, bro. He was carrying them.
The good thing now is that there's no Bron, so he might make his first NBA Finals this year if we're not careful. He got KD.
Famously,
that's the only issue.
Cleveland is good. That's the only other issue for DeMar DeRozan. It's not a Bron Cleveland team, but they're a really good defensive team, though.
They don't have a superstar that can carry them in the playoffs, and that's the only reason why I'm not afraid of them.
In the long run, like if you had to play them in a series, playoff run, obviously, then you probably match up better, especially if you're a 1A team like the ones we just mentioned.
Yeah, like Darius Garland is a problem, but he's not gonna.
He's young. He doesn't have the experience.
Colin Sexton is very inconsistent.
Inexperienced, inconsistent. Evan Mobley's a rookie, even though he's playing his guts out.
I want to see him and Wiseman go at it for the next 10 years, cross conference. Like, Wiseman is going to be a problem when he gets back, and him and Mobley going back to. Oh my god,
that's going to be reminiscent of like Kareem going up against the entire Celtics team because it's him, Jared Allen, Mobley, and Jared Allen is like an insane like front court duo. A backcourt is front court, front court, insane front court duo to have. Because Jared Allen will get you a bucket, and then Evan Mobley,
which makes no sense.
Insane defense.
Jared Allen is a problem. Like that's the only I wish
the Nets kept.
Yeah, I wish the Nets kept Karis LeVert. Don't get me wrong, but I knew with the players that we were getting, we didn't need Karis. We needed Jared Allen, and it really showed when LaMarcus Aldridge had the heart issue.
Had the heart thing, yeah.
Because we were playing Blake Griffin 40 a night, and that's not it, bro. Playing him 40 minutes a night at the 5, that's nearly impossible.
And Claxton wasn't even mentioned yet last year. He came in garbage time.
But he's too weak to go up against Embiid and Giannis. Like Blake Griffin might be short, but Blake Griffin is a grown man.
Strong. No, he's strong.
So he'll move you out the way.
Bull. He does not play, bro.
That's the issue where Claxton now, but he better be careful because Day'Ron Sharp is Claxton with 20 pounds extra. So Day'Ron Sharp is a force. It's just that his basketball IQ is not up there yet for him to really get serious minutes. But I'm excited, bro. KD's out, which sucks, but if Harden can buy in, because Harden talking about, it's not the end of the world if I relocate. Like, I'll punch you in your mouth. You're on the Nets. You're on the Nets. I don't want to hear nothing about that. You're on the Nets.
I was about to ask you about that because I was literally about to say, like, this is all fun and games. Like, I know Harden's about to pick up the pace for y'all, but there was just big trade rumors about him, bro. And they trade rumors for Ben Simmons. Like, what are we talking about here?
So here's the thing. Here's the thing. If we can guarantee KD's healthy and guarantee that Kyrie is able to play home and away,
yeah,
I would still 100% every single day of the week rather James Harden. Not even close. James Harden is my guy.
It's not close. It's not close. Yeah.
Ben Simmons on that team where at the end of the game, you know you're not getting the ball anyway. So there's never going to be an issue of, oh, why won't he shoot? He's not getting the ball. Like you might as well take him off the floor.
On that team, he's literally there to play defense and maybe facilitate. Maybe facilitate because you still got Harden there. Unless the Harden's gone.
He would have to get traded for Ben Simmons. We would have to get like Ben Simmons, Danny Green. Like, we'd have to get 2 or 3 of them.
Yeah. For James Harden? James Harden.
Plus
absolutely. Picks. See, we talked about this earlier, and I'm going to bring it up again later when I talk about the Knicks, but this is Ben Simmons makes sense on a 1A team. Yeah. Ben Simmons does not make sense on the Knicks to me for that reason.
It depends.
Because if we have him facilitating and playing defense, we're just feeding into what we had last year, which is a bunch of facilitators who play good defense but do not score. Our number one issue is literally scoring.
Wait.
And even more so, it's free throws.
You don't know that.
Dude, because like I said, we'll talk about it when it gets there.
But like even talking about the Nets, he's been home. Ben Simmons hasn't played a game yet this season.
That's an even worse problem.
No, Ben Simmons is going to the Steph Curry school of shooting right now, and just putting up 500 threes every day in his gym.
If there was an inkling of that being true, Bleacher Report would have had a conniption. Their Instagram feed would have been blowing up. Hilarious. People's phones would be 900 degrees with Bleacher Report notifications. That's ridiculous.
Hilarious. That is the truth. If
Steph Curry's.
If that was the truth, because watch him. He's gonna come to the Nets. Like, God forbid they trade for him, but like, say he comes to the Nets, and this man comes up in the first game, goes 7 for 10 from 3. Scores 45, 7 for 10 from 3. 8 dunks, like something crazy. 3 free throws.
I would stop watching basketball. I would stop watching basketball.
Y'all gonna look at the Nets like y'all fleeced again. Like, because Ben Simmons automatically becomes one of the best, probably the best player in basketball if he ever shows up talking about.
All he ever had to do was develop a shot. All he ever had to. It doesn't even have to be a 3. He could develop a mid-range shot, and I'd say, you know what? This Ben Simmons guy is not as big of a jokester as everyone makes him out to be.
But he would immediately be the best player in basketball if he ever came. Like, he doesn't even have to be Steph Curry shooting.
That's what I'm saying.
He just shot like LeBron.
A mid-range, yes. Like, just
he would be the best player in basketball because you can't stop him. He's
literally LeBron.
Whenever he gets to the rim, when people are giving him cushion.
Yeah, dog.
It's not like they guarding him up and then he just hits him with a hezzy and he takes off. No, you give him 10 feet of space, 15 feet of space, and he still gets to the rim whenever he feels like.
Ben Simmons also needs a guy on his team who's not going to take his BS. Like, imagine if he had, like, Udonis Haslem, Draymond Green on his team. They would beat the brakes off of him every single night if he didn't show up and play every single night. It would have to be someone like that.
Rest in peace, Kobe. But imagine he had Kobe on his team.
If Kobe was on a team with Ben
Simmons would have been on the court mad every night. Like, man, I don't want to be out here, man. Pass
he would
Kobe.
Be point guard, small forward, water boy, GM. He would have been. Kobe would have had him working 8 different jobs.
Oh my god, yo.
To understand what basketball, bro. Serious stuff. But listen, aside from James Harden rumors, and you wanted to punch him in the mouth, by the way, that's mad funny.
Yeah, that's disrespectful. Talking about I'll relocate. No, you're on the Nets. How about that? Sign the extension right now. You're on the Nets. I don't want to hear anything about I'm willing to go somewhere else. I'll really find you. I'll fight you. I'll find you and I'll fight you. Don't do that. That's mad disrespectful.
aside from that, you guys did pick up a decent six man, Patty Mills, who from the first game, even for like the whole season, pretty much has been like a reliable 3-point shoot. Harris is out right now, right?
Yeah, he
So
like tore
he's
his
picking up the
hamstring or
slack.
something like that. He's been out for like 2 months.
Jesus, yeah,
No,
yeah.
I don't think it's a tear, but it was no, actually wasn't it
I don't know
ankle?
if it's a. I just
I
see him.
think
He's out. Like
I think it was
he's been
some
out for a
ankle
while.
issue or some lower leg. All I know is
Yeah,
people are like people after the playoffs last year when he literally disappeared after
choked.
game 2 against the
Oh
Bucks.
yeah. Oh
People
yeah.
were like trade him, especially now we have Patty Mills. Like, what?
Why
Joe
not
Harris is
both?
supposed to be starting at the 3 for us. You have him starting at 3 with Patty Mills coming off the bench. That means there's never a time in the game where you don't have a lights out shooter on the floor. Why would you trade Joe Harris?
He shot 41% from 3 last year. That's insane.
And you know what he shot on
That's
spot up?
insane.
He
Just
shot
spot
like
ups.
on like catch and shoot
Yeah.
threes where he doesn't have to move.
Yeah.
He shot like 48% from spotting up.
Insane.
He has the
nobody
best,
put up numbers like that.
no,
last
not
year.
even
Nobody.
Granted, Steph Curry almost never took spot up threes, but no one, not even Steph Curry, was in his area code when it came
if you're
to
talking
shoot
straight
threes.
field goal, 3-point percentage, it was Joe Harris last year.
Joe
I couldn't
Harris,
even believe it.
He wasn't even 41%. Joe Harris was closer
to
46% last year, or 44% last year. That's elite for any
Listen,
era,
man.
anybody playing the game. Joe Harris was statistically, of course, Steph Curry, Clay Thompson didn't play, but Steph Curry, we got it. Dame Lillard, we get it. James Harden, we get it. But Joe Harris, outside of the playoffs, was putting up numbers we should not be seeing.
That's what, yeah.
From
that's
3.
exactly what I was referring to.
And they're talking about trading. Yeah, Patty Mills is nice. Don't get me wrong. Patty Mills is my guy. He dropped 8 30-point games this year when he put up 1 in the rest of his career.
Mm-hmm.
And we're only halfway through the season. He already has 8 30-point games. He missed 1 game, and that was because it was his 4th game in 5 nights. I'm telling you, after he dropped, what did he drop? I think he dropped like 40 on Dame in the Olympics, and they were like, wait.
Oh yeah.
KD called up Marks and was like, hey, Patty, call him as soon as the Olympics is done. Call this man. He has to be on
that man on this team right now. ASAP.
And he was right, because as soon as that happened, then you get the news Kyrie can't play. Patty Mills has saved our season. James Harden was washed the first 2 weeks because of the new rules. James Harden couldn't do anything. He couldn't get to the free throw line. He couldn't make his shots. And then, oh my God.
I did forgot about that. That he was literally like a walking zombie on the court.
Yeah, he was horrible.
Trying to drive, and he wasn't getting any calls. He was just kicking out. He was a ghost on the court practically.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
So that's how I feel. I feel like we can end the season as a 1 seed. With or without KD, the issue is what are we going to do in the playoffs? And that's what's really making me nervous.
I think that's what matters. It doesn't matter if you finished with a 1 seed or not, because whatever seed you finish,
season doesn't matter. The Hawks showed you that last year.
In the East, in the West, it does.
No, I still not even think in the West.
No, I think in the West, or last year at least, in the West, it absolutely did, because your positioning mattered who you played. The Suns, granted, the Lakers were hurt, had a tough matchup ready for them, with the Lakers making the 7th seed, making the 7th seed. It was already going to be hard for them because they were a least experienced team. They were the one team that should have been in the play-in in the bubble, but didn't make it just based off record, I think. But the West still matters in terms of who you play, like where you play them. The East, it's always up for grabs. And I think it mostly shifts because, the West has more per se like superstars, right, on each of these teams. They had the MVP last year. They had the MVP 2 years prior.
Giannis,
before that. Giannis was before that, but 2 years prior before that.
I'm pretty sure it wasn't. Yeah. Was Harden. No. Wait, 21, 20.
19.
19. That was Giannis again. 18 was 18 Harden?
Could have been. But he was in the Rockets at that point.
Yeah, so it was West. But was it Harden?
So it was West.
And then 17 was was 17.
Regardless, I mean, making my point in terms of MVP or not,
I hate that.
The MVP, or rather, the Western Conference usually ends up making more decision in like, okay, I have to play this team. We got to prepare better because this team is building up a record. They're building up momentum. They're going to be like the 3 seed at this point. They're going to be playing so and so. So we're going to have to prepare further down the line. It's the reason why the Clippers always end up making it far in the playoffs because they know how to prepare for teams when come playoff time.
Except for last
regular
year,
season,
they should have got destroyed because that was the dumbest thing. You tanked to get the 5, and granted you beat the Nuggets,
Paul George,
but you tanked to get the 5. Why would you do that? That didn't make sense.
I guess that one instance, yeah.
You tanked to get the 5 seed, and then you ended up with the 6 seed, and you ended up going against the Nuggets. You got lucky.
Could you even call it tanking though? Because they only had Paul George at that point. It was literally just Paul George carrying the entire team after Kawhi.
I think there was a couple games where they sat out Paul George so that they can drop. Because they could
drop, or just like in preparation for the playoffs.
I think they had the 5 seed. I think they had the 5. They had the 4 or the 5 or something like that. And
they had the 4 last year, I thought, because they finished above the Lakers and they made a big spiel about it.
Lakers had the 7 though.
Yeah, they were in the play-in against the Warriors. Yeah.
Regardless,
I do think you're right though about the East. Is that, and the Hawks showed us that last year. That was absolutely true. Is that the Hawks? They just had to make the playoffs. They could turn up as soon as they get into the first round, second round, Eastern Conference Finals. But, until then, it's anybody's game. Eastern Conference is fair game usually. I think there's a Bron factor in there.
I low-key believe that the East, you should take the East more seriously because in the West, no matter what team you face, they're going to give you trouble. Everybody wins 45 games plus in the West.
But that's why I think the West positioning matters more. Like, you want to finish higher because you get more games at home, especially if you're a team like in the West Coast. It's all West there. But if you're a team like Phoenix, nobody wants to go travel to Phoenix. Nobody wants to go travel to Golden State. Lakers, the same difference. Clippers, who cares? Denver's a tough place to play in. And mostly because those teams, they fight for every single seed that they got, right? Like, they got to fight to get those higher seeds. Utah, not a tough place to play in, but they always had the number 1 seed because they just have the best, right? They have the best regular season team, probably for the NBA. And in the East, look at the Knicks finished with the 4 seed last year. They played Atlanta with the 5, who barely slipped into the 5 at the end of the season. And we get bounced in 4 games.
I think it was 5.
And then in 5 games, 4-1. And then we get, if you look at teams like Philly, the same way. They finished with they were the 2 seed?
They were the 1.
3? They were the 1.
It was Philly, Nets, Bucks, Knicks, Hawks.
Heat weren't there, no?
Heat were 6. They played the Bucks in the first round.
Oh yeah, that's true. And
Giannis was not playing with his food. Was not playing with his food this time. After he got bounced by them like the 2 years before that, he said, "I'm not playing my food this year, yo."
That bubble series motivated him enough. Yeah. Again,
he didn't
same
play.
thing.
I think he broke his ankle or something like that.
Yeah, he got hurt, but it's still motivation, dog. Like, you got to get through that. Hawks cleaned through everybody. That's why I think the positioning there was like, you know what? They the 5 seed anyway. They just made the Eastern Conference Finals, but Bron didn't even have to get the 1 seed every year in the East. He just had to get through Toronto in the 1 or Boston at the 2 or 3, and once he got through those 2 teams, cakewalk. Pacers early on, maybe, but cakewalk. Let's talk Knicks. I think you got your Nets stuff in. They're good. They don't even need the 1 seed. They're at the 3 right now. They could probably still even finish top 4 easy, because I don't think the Eastern Conference has enough strength to match up still against.
To be honest with you, if it's me, if I'm the Nets, drop to the 4. Drop to the 5. Drop to the 6. Because you can't play at home anyway.
Tank for the 5?
You can't play at home. So you might as well get as many road games as possible to get Kyrie in as many games.
Yeah.
If it's me, drop to the 6. Drop as low as possible without playing in the play-in, and then wipe all the good teams out so that it's easy for you.
Either that or just inject him while he's sleeping. It doesn't even matter at this point. He's going to wake up feeling indifferent. That's how we all feel now. You get sick for maybe 1 day. Knicks right now are the 11 seed in the NBA.
That would change. Cam Reddish is going to come back and get 40 a game. Until D Rose
yeah,
gets here.
we got some injuries right now, and some injuries that probably are hurting our offense more than anything. D Rose being out, Kemba just coming back, had a good game against what was that, Minnesota last night. We got cooked by the Hornets the night before. I think that was a turning point game for the Knicks, especially after you come off a 3-game win streak. You beat the Hawks, you beat the Mavericks, you beat the Spurs. Spurs, regardless, but Mavs just went on like a 10-game win streak. Atlanta's still Atlanta. They played with Trae Young. Capella was the only thing missing there. But putting up 87 points on the Hornets, a team that plays no defense, but will blow you out the water because, LaMelo Ball didn't even play. But of course, if it's the Knicks, you got to have at least one guy who's going to have a career game that you're playing against. Miles Bridges went insane. Dropped like 38.
Bridges is a bucket though.
This year, at least, he might even get like most improved player just based off how insane he's playing right now.
He's a bucket. So like people got to remember that. Like, yeah, I understand. Everyone wakes up to play the Knicks for some reason. I don't know why.
Oh, okay. No, and it's just one guy because he dropped like that close to 40 piece, and everybody else had a regular game.
Yeah,
like, it was just every day 14, 12. Terry barely scored any points. Hayward is a ghost right now in Charlotte.
Yeah.
Regardless, it just takes one guy, like you said.
Like I get why Jordan signed him, but like all-time bad contracts, and it's not his fault because he just keeps getting hurt. But Jordan said it. He was like, I don't like softies. I'm not going to sign you if you're going to ask for a rest day every week. Like, no, I'm signing you to play every game.
Did he make that statement after Kawhi made his whole thing after 2019?
Yeah.
About not playing every game?
Kawhi did it because the Spurs were trying to run him into the ground. And he's like, I'm not doing it. But like,
listen, athletes deserve the time that they need to take rest, right?
But at the same time,
it's Jordan's era that kind of molded that.
Don't take rest
and grind,
like you're getting paid millions of dollars to play basketball. Why do you want to get paid that game check if you're sitting out? And they know they're still going to get paid because it's not like they're giving up that game check. They're still getting paid for that game, which is why I'm like, yo, you're getting paid millions of dollars to sit and watch basketball. That's disrespectful. Like, I don't know. I don't agree with it either. I don't think they should have to play as many big minutes. Put them on a minutes restriction.
If they're injury prone, at least, yeah. If they're injury prone,
you dress 13 people.
Mm-hmm.
Play. If you look at KD and go, today, I'm only playing you 15 minutes. Play the 15 minutes, get 20, if possible, get 20, and then I'm gonna sit you unless we really need the game. But he needs to play. Like, that's how I feel. Like, unless you're hurt.
Granted, he is like actually hurt right now.
He's hurt now, so I'm not going to say that. But I'm saying,
but
like, I'm not even just talking about KD. I'm talking about everybody because LeBron was one of the first people where it was like, we just going to rest LeBron. Why? Coach's decision. Like,
especially when he got to Lakers, like that.
LeBron should never get a coach's decision.
Yeah.
What sense does that make?
2019 Lakers team was rough. Because that was the first time he never made the playoffs.
And since like 04.
Since his rookie year.
Yeah.
And then the last half of the season, he was basically like, oh, I'm going to just be here. Like, I'm already in LA. I'm making my money. I think
he tore his groin or something. No, he didn't tear it. He like strained his groin.
He strained it. He was like, trying to.
I'm just not coming back.
To play through a strained groin and then set out the rest of the season. Listen.
It's Kuzma's fault.
Yeah, but now he's a bucket in Washington. So
exactly.
He doesn't even need it.
Yo, you heard what he said? Please tell me you heard what he said.
Wait, the thing about him being a GM?
Y'all better watch your backs. I'm feeling like Bron. Y'all better watch your backs. Y'all might get traded before halftime. I was weak.
Clown. He exposing LeBron's practices.
Oh my God.
Le GM.
Feeling like, bro, yeah, that's how we got to the Wizards. You thought he wanted to be traded? He said, I'm feeling like Bron. Y'all better watch out. Y'all might get traded before halftime. I was weak.
Could you imagine Bron trades for him back for Russ?
He said, get Westbrook out of here. Give me Kuzma.
He said, wait a minute. I was trying to experience something. Let me get Kuzma. Back to my Knicks real quick because I want to highlight that Hornets game based off two things. We turned the ball over the most times that game in a season. And then we followed up against Minnesota with almost equally as many turnovers. Last two games have been rough. We got another game against the Pelicans that should be a pick-me-up game for us. But the way we work, it might even be like a single-digit close game. There's streaks going on. Randall has been somewhat consistent right now. He's making, at best, half his free throws right now. The worst thing about this team offensively is going to the charity stripe and bricking everything. All of them. RJ's doing it. Randall's doing it. Burks was doing it yesterday. Quickly has been doing it recently. The rookies get no show, like, regularly. That's just a Tom Thibodeau thing. Like, he's not going to play the young guys because he plays his starters, or he runs his starters to death before he plays inexperienced guys, unless it's a blowout, obviously. But guys like Obi, guys like Q Grimes, Jericho Sims, who's up and down. Who's the other kid? Whatever. Just guys that are not going to get a lot of play time right now, who should be, especially when we get to like that mid-third quarter time where Randall's freezing cold. RJ's taking too many shots.
5 points, negative 27, plus minus.
The plus minus is like going down. I think we have the worst third quarter splits out of any Eastern team, at least in the NBA. Like, even worse than Orlando, probably, because Orlando put up some.
Sometimes the Nets look like the worst third quarter team in basketball.
I don't know. And the third quarter, like, you watch basketball. Everyone who watches basketball knows, like, you got to come out halftime like a raging bull.
Exactly. You got to come out playing basketball. You
got to come out, especially if halftime. You could start off slow. That happens to every team in the NBA sometimes. You start off slow. But if you put up 40 points in the third quarter, we know you came to play. Exactly. So what happened against Minnesota? We put up 40 points in the third quarter. Fourth quarter, 18 points.
18 points.
But there's just no, like, rhyme or reason to it. Like, again, free throws were definitely an issue last game too. Turnovers, again, an issue. That matchup between Anthony Edwards and RJ Barrett, you could tell that there's something brewing between the two of them, right? Like, Edwards had the comments last year when RJ had that last minute shot, or last second shot, and he bricked it. And they were like, oh, it's RJ Barrett. We'll let him take the shot anyway.
Yeah.
But, this year
they can't do that now.
It's their second game.
He'll make it.
I mean, against Boston, right? That was. You like to see it.
That was luck.
You like to see it. Listen, he put a nice step back on Tatum. He got some open space. He just needed enough open space. But that bank off the window,
he didn't even see it.
I'll take it any day.
He said, "I just threw it up
any day." Bank off the window. Anybody would take a game winner regardless of what it looks like. I just don't want to play. I just didn't want to play the Celtics in overtime again, because we probably would have been gassed after all that.
Yeah.
Again, regardless, like, same issues, just keep repairing for this team. It's the one thing that I think every Knicks fan can clearly see now, is that offensively there's just inconsistency with the ball, bad free throw shooting, a lot of turnovers. Easy fixable things, especially with an experienced coach like Tom Thibodeau. Like, he would probably drill these guys to death in practice if he clearly saw what was going on here. I think there's still some buzz with, like, trades going on. There's some thing about us getting like a kid from Sacramento or someone else from, I think they said Brogdon or someone. I don't even, like, we need a point guard is basically what they're saying, right?
So they were trying to say that you guys were gonna get man.
I heard De'Aaron Fox was a stretch.
De'Aaron Fox is his name.
But I heard it's a stretch.
He's a stretch, but the Kings aren't going anywhere with him, so they got to get rid of him.
He doesn't even want to play for the Kings. Value. That's the other thing, yeah.
While he has value because he's good. Yeah. What I would tell you guys to do, get him, get Melvin Bagley.
Yeah, okay.
Marvin Bagley.
Marvin Bagley, yeah.
Marvin Bagley.
Yeah.
And then trade Randall somewhere. Doesn't matter where.
Yeah, but then who plays the 4? That's our biggest issue.
Bagley, he's a 4, and he's a bucket, and he's a rebounder because he has. Where is he? Bunnies. He's on Sacramento. That's what I'm saying. Okay. Get both of them. I don't know how you get both of them without trading Randall.
That would it would require trading Randall.
But does he want to go there?
Absolutely not.
So I don't know if it gets done because he got that deal now. He got money. So
I also don't think it gets done just because I think the Knicks have too much faith in Randall. Regardless, I don't think Randall's a trade piece even considering right now.
Yeah,
Like
he did get you out to the playoffs, so it's gonna be difficult to trade him.
it's yeah, like
But at the same time, he just told the fans to F themselves, so
we were gonna get into that.
it's not that
Listen,
difficult to trade him at
New
this
York
point.
City, you guys got to understand something. Whether it's the Knicks doing thumbs down, telling fans to stay the F quiet or shut the F up, there's emotion in the game. Whether it's the Mets putting thumb down symbols at their own fans, whether it's the Yankees doing thumbs down in the playoffs, mocking a fan, we don't care. It's New York.
The reason why the Yankees got away with it though,
We
because
don't
it was
care.
a Mets fan that did that. So that's the difference.
Was that guy a
Like,
Mets fan?
yeah,
Like,
he was a Mets fan.
It wasn't even
the,
against the Mets.
yeah, it was a Subway
against,
Series.
I thought it was against like Minnesota or something. They just
oh,
brought it
you know
out.
what it was? You know what it was?
What?
They played at what did they? I think they played.
It was a dude with the glasses.
It was at City Field. So it was a Subway Series.
So it was a dude with the glasses. That was at City Field.
Yeah, that was at City Field. I think that was right after Judge hit that third deck home run against the Mets, and he was running third or something like that, and the guy was just like this. So then everybody was like, "Look at this clown," and then they started doing it back to him because it was a Mets fan. In this case,
granted, yeah,
it was a Knicks fan. The Knicks fans that were doing that. So then that's why it was like, "Yo, you cannot tell your own fan base that." Like they have the right to be upset. Julius Randle,
of course,
you're
Julius Randle
either
not playing
the
up to
best
his
player
par.
in basketball or the worst. There's no
Yeah.
in between with him this year.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
It's that inconsistency. It's that inconsistent. And the funny thing is, we talked about this last week too. I think even on the side, Randall started off like this last year. He was either the best player or the worst player, doing his little spin cycles in the paint. And granted, he's cut down on it, right? It's a good move. I built my own basketball game off of that move. That's a good move, especially against slow big dudes. Doesn't matter how big or small they are. But listen, you said when we first started talking about the Knicks, oh, that's not gonna last. Knicks being the 11th seed.
There's no way.
Those middle of the road teams. Even I expect Cleveland eventually, who is hot right now, Charlotte, the Celtics especially, Toronto. The Hawks are already out. They're like the 12, and they're 6 games under. But
what does that mean? You still got Trae Young on your team. You can go anywhere with Trae Young.
They have worst defense in the league, and Capella is gone right now. They're sinking at least. They could win in the second half a lot. What I'm saying is that those 5 teams in front. Oh, not even. But I mean, yes. But I'm still thinking that we'll be a top 6 team this year. There's 5 teams ahead of us.
I'm not talking about you guys.
Genuinely better.
I'm talking about the Hawks. You guys better make it to the 6.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
That would
Knicks
be
will probably be up to
depressing.
6.
You have to,
especially the hype that we built up this year.
Of course.
The Hawks, they just got to make the playoffs.
You just got to make it to the 10.
Now. It's hard right now for them. Bro, I'm telling you, Trae Young could drop. He dropped a 50 ball like 2 weeks ago, right?
Didn't they lose?
They lost. Yeah, they lost. He lost. I'm telling you, they have the worst defense in the league, and Capella is nowhere to be seen right now. I think he's hurt. I don't know his timetable or whatever. I'm not a Hawks fan. Who cares? But turnaround time for the Knicks starts obviously right now. Like every minute of the day. They clearly got to clean up on the itsy bitsy mistakes that like every team knows how to fix in a single game later. You don't let turnover streaks kill your season. You don't let free throw shooting kill your season. Teams don't let that happen. If you're a real basketball team, you live and die by playing good basketball. You lose close games, which granted the entire season for the Knicks has been all close losses, except 3 blowouts winning side, 3 blowouts losing side. It's dead even. Every other game, close game. We get our offense together, we make our free throws, we limit turnovers, 6 seed. Easy.
I think the only thing that is kind of difficult is that Evan Fournier is one of the worst defenders in basketball. Like he can get his buckets. Yeah. He can score 30 pretty easily.
But it's still be inconsistent.
Cannot guard a station, like a pole, a stationary pole.
It definitely hurts because, we had guys like Bullock, dare I even say Elfrid Payton last year, who actually played solid defense.
Defensively, they were amazing.
Yeah. And that's what made them one of the worst teams to play, actually, last year, was that their defense was a lock. This year, they gave it up by trading those 2 guys away or letting them walk, really. But, you got Fournier, you got Kemba, You got even D Rose, who in his older years now is not going to play as good defense as what he was doing way back when. Your solid guys right now on defense are RJ, Mitch, and sometimes Quick. Sometimes Quick can get you a steal every now and then and play lock defense, especially on the perimeter. Burks doesn't really play you defense, but he'll play you a good wing. Fournier not playing defense. Randall right now is not playing defense. That could be something that's got to be picked up too.
Yeah,
but he could clearly be a good defender. But
what I've seen is
him against Cat last night was rough.
Yeah, well, you knew that was barbecue chicken. Like you had to put Mitchell, you had to put Mitch Robinson on him. But
if they did, and then he fouled out, and then we put Taj on him, and then he fouled out. Yeah. So we had to put Randall on him for the rest of the game. It was sick.
But you got to see it like when you have a coach like Tibbs.
Yeah.
He needs defenders on his team, but the reason you guys lost wasn't defense. The reason you guys lost last year because you couldn't score. So he chose, not him, but I forgot your GM, but
the Knicks.
Leon Rose.
Leon Rose,
He chose offense. He chose Kemba. He chose Evan Fournier because in a playoff series, they can win you a playoff series if they're consistent.
Yeah.
Like, they're not going to win you the finals, don't get me wrong. But if you had them two on your team against the Hawks, y'all at least make that a series. It's probably going 7 instead of 5. But they chose that not realizing Tibbs is going to run them into the ground because he only plays 8 guys. Like, so if
maybe less, he plays like 6 or 7, maybe.
So if all 3 of them are in the rotation, they're all playing 30 minutes a night.
Yeah.
Kemba's knees can't handle 30. Evan Fournier can handle 30, but he's not playing defense. No. Kemba can't handle 30. He can barely handle 25. So if you want him to play hard defense for 25, 30 minutes a game, good luck. Derrick Rose can handle it for the most part.
To an extent.
But if you want him to do it the whole year and the playoffs, GG's. It's not working.
It's the reason why he's hurt right now.
Yeah.
Because he was having knee soreness all up until he got hurt, and they said, nah, you got to sit out. I think he had to have surgery. He's out 2 months. Listen, we know what
they tried to play him like he was 2011. It don't work.
They're a game under right now. They are the 10th seed in the East. There's hope. That's all I'm saying. Cam Reddish is going to be an impact guy for us because he plays both sides of the ball. He plays them well. When he was playing on the Hawks and Trae Young was out, he was putting up like 20, 25 a game. On top of that, one of the solid wing defenders in the league, can also play the 2 really, really well. I'm looking forward to him coming back. He just got a nurse ankle injury. The other guy I was thinking of, the rook, was Deuce McBride, another guy who's just up and down between Westchester and I think he's in Westchester right now. But also doesn't see minutes.
That's just, one thing I forgot to mention. One thing I forgot to mention for the Nets. Kessler
the
Edwards,
rookies.
Day'Ron Sharpe.
I was going to say.
David Duke Jr., Cam Reddish. Them 4?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Our future is looking real bright. You're not going to keep them, clearly.
No, that's not Cam Reddish.
3 of them are, huh?
You said Cam Reddish.
Sorry, I said Cam Reddish. Cam Thomas.
Yeah. I was thinking.
Cam Thomas. I heard you say Reddish. That's like Cam Thomas. Cam Thomas is a bucket. It kind of hurts me.
He put up a game winner against Toronto. Yeah.
Not Toronto. It was
Spurs. We played them right after.
It kind of hurts me though because when Kyrie plays and if all the big 3 are there, Cam Thomas does not see the floor. Like, he's completely out of the rotation when Kyrie plays.
Yeah.
Which makes no sense.
Yeah.
But when he's in the game, Hezzy, dribble to the middle of the court, KD shot. KD fadeaway. Well, not really a fadeaway. It's a regular jumper, but he leans. A leaning jumper.
He got the little
every time. And it's money every time. And it's like, yo, Cam Thomas is going to be a problem. Like, he's like how I felt about Karis LeVert for a stretch. Where it's like, yo, if he turns into that, like, I want James Harden, don't get me wrong. And he will never, I don't think he'll ever be as good as James Harden. But what I'll say for sure is if he can give us production from the 2 or the 3, he can make James Harden, if he does decide to leave, he can make us feel a little better if he ends up being
knowing there's something there. Yeah. And that worst case scenarios, you got a 6-man, a guy who's leading the second squad and putting up buckets.
But them
for some
rookies,
time to come.
man, they are blessing me. David Duke Jr.,
Let me tell you, y'all
Daron
drafted
Sharp.
well.
It makes no
Real well.
sense. It
I
makes no
know. It was
sense
mostly
because
second round picks.
yeah, like how do we end up with these guys? Like Kessler, everybody knew he was nice because just his frame and the way he plays is nice.
He's what, the 4 or the 5 center?
No, he's a 3. He's the light skinned guy. He plays the 3 or the 4 when KD's there he plays the 3. When he's not there, he plays the 4.
Yeah. Okay.
But he's like a lockdown defender, but he could hit the 3 from the corner. So he could end up like the way they're using him, he could low-key end up being like a Danny Green, like 3 and D. Like, but the issue is I don't think he's as consistent. Like Danny Green is like one of the all-time best shooters. Like, so yeah, if he's not gonna be that, but he's nasty. So I'm excited about the Nets' future because the way it's looking, Kyrie might have to get traded. Like if he ever decides, like if the rules don't change in New York, and then
he might just retire.
He's not gonna retire. He's not. He's
not. Just say not. The league's
loves basketball
too much.
He loves basketball entirely too much.
Depends on how the league's still treating him after this year.
Yeah,
because he's gonna get tired. He's gonna get Aaron Rodgers tired eventually. Maybe.
And then the Cavaliers fans being stupid, talking about, "Oh, Kyrie."
That was a player telling you to shut the F up because he literally, blood, sweat, and tears, carried your team before the chip to 17 wins a season.
Yeah.
And then when Bron came back, carried Bron in the last 3 minutes of the NBA Finals Game 7, 2016 against the Warriors.
Was wiped out. I mean, Bron put blood, sweat, tears, I don't
body
even know.
Parts, muscles,
everything he left
ligaments
on the floor, and he said, "Kyrie, if you don't take the shot, man, we're dead."
Put it right in Curry's face. He said, "Here's your 3 ball."
And then the shot he took to win the game against the Cavs was from the same spot, and it did the toilet bowl. It said, and it came out. I said, "No." Yeah, but I don't know, man.
That's sick, man.
He's not gonna retire, but he's
one thing. It's one thing I do want to bring off of that though is that the NBA is just, as always, just dramatic as hell at every single moment. Like it starts with the Kyrie stuff, the Randall stuff that gets crazy, the Randall and the RJ stuff. Ja Morant going crazy this season with the little kid with the Steph Curry jersey.
He came back. They had a trade in the night after. He exchanged the jersey.
He was first online. He exchanged it for a Ja jersey.
And got he got free tickets to the game too. I think it was like something like that. Like you get 1 free ticket to the game. So that
makes you a lifelong fan. That would make me a lifelong fan. I know.
Of course I would do it.
And then the Lakers are either the biggest story or the least wanna know story in the NBA, because when they win, it's all over the place. It's on ESPN for an hour. It's on all Instagram, Twitter for hours at a time. When Westbrook last night, was that last night? When he took that shot at the end.
Either last night or 2 nights ago.
Against Utah, right?
Yeah, it was either last night or 2 days ago.
He took an unnecessary shot, and everyone, even the announcer was like, no, hold the ball. He took the shot anyway and went in. He put that dunk on Gobert.
He baptized that boy.
His head was missing. Did you see? We laugh about the Anderson Varejao dunk because his legs went.
That's still the single greatest dunk I've ever seen. D Wade sent him to look at the devil in his face. Like I've never seen somebody like that, yo.
Anderson Varejao.
He fought his knees connected and his foot hit the post. Like how you do that?
Anderson Varejao was looking at the roof of the arena for a clean 5 minutes, bro. Like it was a nasty dunk. Listen, Westbrook put him on a poster. He baptized him. He sent him. The one picture I saw on Twitter was literally Gobert, like his leg was in the stretched out in the air. His arms were out like this, but his head was just entirely in Westbrook's midsection, like tattooed.
I felt bad for him. Yeah, because Westbrook is down bad right now, and
that's what I'm saying. And that's the drama, like because Westbrook he's been putting up the worst shots I think anybody has seen in the last 10 years. Like this guy, he was an MVP. He was putting up Oscar Robinson numbers and putting those numbers to shame. And he's bricking stuff off the top of the backboard. I haven't put up shots like that in years.
He's bad. He was
It
bad.
was bad stretch. Hey, I hope he turns it around though. Regardless of all the stuff that goes on around him, Russ is still one of my favorite players to watch. Like when he's on, that
No,
is an amazing player to watch.
nah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Can't stand his game. I used to love it. I can't stand it
Oh
anymore.
no. Well,
Just
what do
because
you
I
mean?
know.
What's changed? It's literally the
Just
same game. He just
that's
ball hogs the
yeah.
entire time.
That's why I
Yeah.
can't stand it because
Yeah.
he has ruined his chances at a chip countless times. KD, give him the ball, Westbrook. Give him the ball. Cut it out. Give him the ball.
Granted, he knew he was playing with KD, but
You
Russell
know,
Westbrook.
you got
Russ.
probably the greatest scorer in the history of the
The
NBA on your
problem.
team.
The problem with him, Russell Westbrook went to the Kobe school of ball hogging.
Clearly.
Because he literally knew, oh, I have one of the greatest scorers of all time right next to me. Kobe knew he had one of the greatest big men, probably the greatest big
man
of all time next to him.
Shaq still ate. Shaq still got 25 and 15 every game.
Until that last season where Shaq was like, no, I want the ball. Like, the team needs to play through me. So he went to Miami where he had a growing D Wade, and he got D Wade his first ring because he knew Kobe was not going to give him the ball the same way. Because once Shaq was gone, Kobe gave the ball to nobody.
And then until Pau Gasol came up,
the only person he trusted.
That's when he started to win again because he went through a stretch when the Lakers were. The Lakers after that 2006 2007 season, they were not it. But then 2007
2008, yeah,
that's when they started to come back, and then they made it to the finals 09 and 2010 or something like that.
Yeah, against the Celtics. It was like back-to-back championships, right?
They lost in 08. No, they
lost the first
3 times.
They lost the first one.
Remember, they went back to back.
Yeah, no, I know they went back to back, but I think it was 3 and 4 years because it was Mavs, I think, at one point in between.
No, Mavs won 2011.
Then we're thinking 07, 08, 08, 09, and then 09, 2010.
So who they play?
It was definitely Lakers, Celtics in 2010, and it was definitely Lakers, Celtics.
Because the Celtics didn't go to
probably
three.
The Celtics
times. Didn't go. No, the Celtics didn't go 3 times in a row.
Then they played. What other team was there in the East that made the chip like that?
That's what I'm trying to think.
Was it the Spurs? Maybe one of those years too.
No, but the Spurs are in the West. There's no way they could.
No, but the Lakers didn't make the third. Then did the Lakers go 3 times?
I think the Lakers won back to back, and they lost the first one to the Celtics.
Okay, so then that's 3. What it is. The Lakers won 3 times. They lost the first one. The Celtics were the second. Orlando? No. That was early.
Orlando went
with Dwight Howard
in 08.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Against the Lakers.
Yeah. Was it?
No,
dude, we don't know. We don't know. We got Google right in front of us. NBA champion history.
I think they did play the Lakers. Yeah, Orlando played the Lakers in 08. Celtics won in 07. Lakers won in 08 and 09.
Celtics won in 08.
Oh, we're thinking of it wrong.
No, it was Spurs, Cavs 07. Spurs won in 07.
Yes.
Celtics won in 08. Lakers 09. Lakers 2010. And it was the Magic in 09.
And 09. That's why I said we're thinking of it wrong. I had my years off. That's why it was messing with my head.
Because the Mavs was 2011. Because I was thinking, I remember the Mavs being somewhere in the turn of the
So 2010
decade.
was the the
last Lakers Celtics with the Lakers winning.
Yes. That's what it was. Yes. Yeah. Okay. So I'm like, my years were off.
I do have to say,
it didn't feel right.
There were a lot of times between last year and this year in our pod where we just didn't figure stuff out and we let it fly. I'm glad.
We didn't look it up.
I'm glad we figured this out because this would have nagged me for weeks.
Because we this laziness. Because all we got to do is really, like you said, just look it up. We're on our computers right now. Just look it up.
If y'all haven't noticed by now, we do this on Zoom. We record this on Zoom. I got like 85 tabs open next to me on the next screen over on my 2 laptops. Still don't want to look. Listen, but the last thing that could be dramatic in the NBA, I just want to mention is the trade deadline is coming in like a month now, right? And teams are starting to move players around, mostly like the back ends of the team. I think Bol was one of the biggest names going to, I think, Boston. Something, you know. But there's going to be more names coming up. There's definitely going to be more drama coming up. Drama, maybe the size of that DeMarcus Cousins trade right after the All-Star game back in like 2014 or 15. That's all I remember. Let's end this with our usual awards picks real quick. I can keep these down, get these down for the end of the season. MVP.
For this year, it was supposed to be KD, but then KD got hurt. So, low key, if it's not Steph Curry, it's Ja Morant, bro. If he keeps this up, there's nobody can touch that boy.
That's an interesting. That's a good
crazy
pick. I would still not count out Jokic.
I don't know. He whines too much, bro. I don't think I think the voters love him, but I don't think he's gonna play enough because he's gonna end up getting.
He gets
suspended.
no calls. He gets no calls.
No, but that's what I'm saying. He
that's
whines
the thing. That's
too
a
much
big man
because of that. He's not wrong for whining.
No,
but he whines a ton, and he's gonna start getting suspended. He got a tech tonight for nothing. Like he got tripped like 8 times on one play, like literally on one play, and he was like, "Bro, they keep grabbing me. Call it." And you see Malone run over. Stop! Pushed him away from the ref because he's about to get a second tee. He said, "We need."
They're losing still right now. Oh no, it just took the lead again.
Damn, he's like, "Yo, the game is gone. If you get ejected now, like we're done." Yeah. Like Aaron Gordon is a bucket, but he can't carry a team.
I was gonna say at least he got Aaron Gordon backing him up, and that actually might hurt his MVP chances. Thinking about that again,
he was on the team last year, so I don't think it should be.
He was traded though on the team.
You know, it didn't hurt Jokic.
No, because Jokic is gonna put up a triple double every game. Yeah, almost. That's the only other issue. One guy I would just not count out, despite the way his team is playing, LeBron James.
No,
because he's playing insane basketball.
Westbrook is going to be the reason why LeBron doesn't win MVP this year.
If the Lakers make the playoffs higher than a play-in, LeBron James will get the MVP. I think.
No. It depends because if Westbrook,
if they make like a 6 seed or higher, I think he will win the MVP just because he's putting up again his best season.
You know why?
How many times are we going to say it?
You know why I'll say
put up 30 points a game? Well, yeah.
Because if they make a high seed, like say they make 6 or higher, it's gonna be because Westbrook got it together. Bron's been dropping 30 for about 3 straight weeks, and they still are under 500 in those weeks. So it's on Westbrook. If Westbrook can learn how to be what they discussed, what him, AD, and Bron discussed over the summer, if Westbrook can learn how to do that, then GG's to the rest of the NBA, and then maybe. Now, I still don't think they'll give it to Bron because they're going to look. Westbrook is at least.
He's at least still in the conversation right now.
He's Bron. He's always in.
That's what I'm saying, and he's still like either top 5 in the conversation or top 4 because of the way he's playing.
Year. Not so far.
Yes, no, his name is there. I've seen him mentioned a couple times already.
It's KD,
solely because
Steph, Giannis, Jokic,
and then I think Bron was 5.
I would low-key go. Well, he's been hurt a lot, so I guess that's probably why he's not mentioned as much. But I'll say I would low-key go.
Who are you going with?
Spider before I go Bron.
He just got a concussion too. He's definitely out the running now.
He's out for a while.
I'd even say Bron is higher than him. I know Spider's playing crazy, and actually he was kind of bad in the last couple of weeks. Like Gobert was carrying that team against the Lakers, and then it's just been Bron, dude. Like, all right, here I'm gonna make my pick.
Yeah,
I think it's Steph Curry this year.
I hope it's
especially because he's gonna if he stays healthy and he pairs up with Clay and Draymond and Iguodala again.
Been very bad.
Like the last 3 weeks.
He's been bad at basketball.
It's been, like his shooting ever since he got that record. He played like the next 2 games was good, and then it was like downturn.
Literally.
But the problem is, it's just that he's Steph Curry, and he'll turn up at any time. It'll be the second quarter of his worst shooting performance in the first quarter ever, and he'll be like, "Okay, I'm gonna make 6 in a row." There we go.
Low key, now that Clay's back, Clay's been pretty bad since he's been back, but that's because he hasn't played in 3 years.
Yeah.
So
he put up I think 24 like last night, which was his highest since.
Yeah, but like the shooting percentage is why he's bad. Like he's still getting his buckets, but he's not regular Clay where
no
he's 10 for 12 in a quarter. Like he's
I
not
got
going there.
shook when he took that strong drive in his
Yeah,
first
he
game
dunked
to
on
the
it. I was
bucket.
like, and when he landed, I was like,
When
God,
he landed, I was like, oh, oh God,
I said,
nah,
oh
bro.
God.
So who are you solidifying MVP? You say you hope
It,
it's Steph.
yeah, I hope it's Steph because
Yeah.
if it's not gonna be KD, it better be somebody that I enjoy watching.
Well, let's say
I like John
KD
Morant.
comes
Don't get
back
me wrong.
healthy. KD comes back
He
healthy.
missed
He
six
still won't.
weeks. It's not possible. If he missed the first month of the season, then yeah, it'll be
Mhm.
possible. But if he misses 4 to 6 weeks now,
He's been the core part. Yeah, All Star
yeah,
break too.
there's no
Yeah,
way. There's no way.
should be
But
rough.
it was 100% going to be KD because
Yeah.
he's playing with a washed James Harden, no Kyrie, and was carrying the Nets to the number 2 seed. It wasn't until James Harden started playing well then maybe you could knock him down, but you can't knock somebody down for
Mhm.
having a player get better in this season. But what I'll say, the only person you could knock down for that is Braun because Westbrook is tanking the team.
No,
So
he's
if it's not like
literally
James
making the
Harden
team
was
worse.
tanking
Yeah.
the team, like Westbrook is literally tanking the team. So if they make the playoffs now, it's clearly because Westbrook stopped being beginning of the year Westbrook.
Or AD got back healthy and also woke up too, because that's a key part that they're missing.
Yeah, and stop trying to play the 4. You're 7 foot. Play the 5. Play the
He's
5.
6'11". He's 6'11".
6'11.
He's
Yeah.
not there.
Once you pass
Yeah.
6'8, you're 7 foot. Like nobody can see above your head when you walk down
Yeah.
the hallway. You're 7 foot.
Okay, hold on. Make your pick. Make your pick. MVP.
Steph Curry.
Okay, so we both pick Steph two
Yeah.
times.
They're
Rookie.
not going to give John Morant that yet, but yeah. So Steph Curry.
Nah. Rookie.
Mobley.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. Any competition? I heard
Yeah,
the kid
it's
Wagner
competition.
in Orlando.
He's pretty good.
The other Darius Garland, right? Isn't that him?
No, he's not. He's not a rookie. He's been around for like 2-3 years.
And who's the other kid in Cleveland? There's another rookie, I think. Maybe not him, but
no.
I've seen at least those two names pop up.
Oh, you're talking. You're talking about. Actually, I take back my pick. I know who you were talking about. It's not on Cleveland. The guy from the Raptors.
Yeah, no.
Yes,
Scotty Barnes.
Scotty Barnes. That's my pick for rookie of the year.
Okay, I'm gonna pick Mobley, though, but you can definitely take Scotty Barnes. Cooked us the first time he played us.
If he can keep it up, he's 100% going to be rookie of the year.
Yeah,
he has franchise altering.
Yeah, they're in the playoffs potential right now because of him. Yes. Like Fred VanVleet doesn't have to be an all-around scorer; he can go back to playing three-point ball because Scotty Barnes is playing
Scotty Barnes
right now.
is playing lockdown defense
He's
too,
crazy,
which is
dog.
like, yo, what are we witnessing right now? Scotty Barnes, yeah,
he's another one. He's another one who puts up crazy numbers against the Knicks. The first time we played it, he came to the Garden and had a record game.
You wake up to play the Knicks.
Sick stuff. DPOY.
It's gonna be Gobert, but he doesn't deserve it. That is the most overrated defensive player of the year ever.
Here's the thing, though. I think we're gonna see why he gets DPOY when Spida is out, because he literally solidifies that team. I think he was out for a little while, and Utah was literally the worst team in the NBA like when he was out, and that was the reason why everyone saw again like, oh, this is why he gets DPOY, because nobody goes in the paint when he's there. But when he's not,
it's like, let's be real.
His first one, you know what's bad? He chokes in the playoffs. Crazy.
He gets
crazy.
He got exposed. Like, let's look.
Like in series games, he gets exposed.
Think about it.
Yeah.
His first one should have went to Kawhi. His second one should have went to Draymond. And the last one should have went to AD. He doesn't deserve any defensive play. And he's a 3-time defensive player of the year, which makes no sense to you. And he might win again this year. And people
Giannis is still always in the conversation. Yeah, always. He got it the other 2 years that he did it, which was like, okay, like now we're seeing the sense in all this. But then he gets it, and then you're like, why is he getting it?
It's like the Clippers against the Clippers.
It's the playoffs. Yeah, it's the playoffs. This man
got exposed to the point that I'm like, take him out the game. He's hurting you guys, but you couldn't, because who are you going to put at the 5?
No one. I think they got.
But they had to go play
Royce O'Neal. No, I'm thinking of somebody way older.
Yeah,
that's way older. They had another dude who was, I think he was O'Neal still, but they were playing him like when who was it? Clarkson was playing because
Because
Clarkson was
if you
balling.
think about it, the Clippers went with what's his name? Man, the guy I forgot his
Terrence
first name.
Mann,
Terrence
Terrence
Mann.
Mann,
He
yeah.
was playing the 5 in that series. So Gobert had to guard the 3.
I
So
was
it's
gonna say
like,
he's a three.
yeah, so that's
Why?
basically what he was, because he was 3. They were playing small ball. They did it on purpose because they
Yeah,
were like, Rudy Gobert, they're not gonna take him out the game. So just make him have to guard the 3-point line,
yeah. Make
and
him
then
guard the perimeter,
and then
sink everyone
you
else.
give it to Man. He's gonna shoot over the top. So Gobert is gonna be like, okay, now I have to guard him. He's gonna go out there, drive, drive, drive. He
Yeah.
can't do that. So now he has to guard the rim again. He can't go both. He's not fast enough. So as soon
Hmm.
as he goes down in the paint, kick it out to Man. That's why he had 30 that game, because it was like, I'm gonna
Yeah.
just stand here. I'm gonna just be a cone.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna stand here. You're gonna kick it to me. I'm gonna shoot. If you
It
don't
was
guard me,
that
I'm gonna make my
that
shots.
was a that was the bubble or was that last year? Because in the
No,
bubble he was exposed the same way.
I think that
Like
was last year. The bubble, he was exposed, but this was
that
last year.
was I think the bubble he got exposed by Denver, right? That's when they lost that
Yes.
overtime or not overtime, that really like low scoring game. Jamal Murray put up a shot, it got blocked, and
He's
then
just
Mitchell was standing open in the corner, and I think Conley took the last shot or something. But again, he was getting
yeah.
exposed. Granted, Jokic was putting some work on him, but it's still getting exposed by smaller guards. Like if you play small ball on the Utah Jazz, it just might work.
Because
It just might
let's
work.
be real, the Jazz play small ball. The issue
Everybody
is
outside of Gobert is small, yeah.
exactly like
2 point guards
you.
and then
Yes, you have
two
Spider,
one
who
shooting
should be a
guard.
point. You have,
Yeah.
well, who's their one this year?
It's Conley and
Is he still
Spider.
on the team? Why do I
I'm
feel like
pretty
he's not on
sure.
the team?
I'm gonna check that because now we got internet shit.
And then you have Jordan Clarkson, who comes off the bench, but
Yeah.
he's also a 1 that they play at the 2. And then um you have Bogdanovich, who's a 3. He ends up playing the 4 half the time. And
Yeah,
you have
Conley's
Joe
still there.
Ingles, who's a 3, who ends up playing the 4 half the time. So it's
Yeah.
like you have a bunch of guys that are 6'7", 6'6",
And
6'1",
and they
6'1",
all shooters. They
and
stand
they're all shooters.
all at the 3 point line. Yeah.
And that's why they win, because they 5 out you to death.
Yeah.
5 out. Everybody on the well, not 5 out, 4-1.
Not
Everybody on the
yeah.
perimeter, and Gobert, you stand in the mid-range area, just float
Just
around,
grab a
get out the way.
board if you need to. It works only because their shooters are also nasty. Like if they were middle of the road shooters, they're not middle of the road shooters. Like
It's true.
Ingles is a bucket,
It is the
Spider's
truth.
bucket, Conley can score. Those are like all noted stuff. We still didn't make our picks though. Okay, you're saying it's Gobert?
It's Gobert. It's going to end up being, because Draymond's not playing and Kawhi's not playing. Giannis could get it. AD's not going to get it because he can't play.
Yeah,
So it's between him
and Giannis.
yeah, Giannis, unless for some reason they start looking at Scotty Barnes, if he steps it up another level. But he's not even close to that level yet. But he's the
Nah,
only one.
he's only a rookie. I don't think they'll give a DPOY to a
Yeah, that's
rookie
true.
like
That's
that.
true. Unless you're like franchise altering defense.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no way.
Um, I'll be the odd man now. I'll pick Giannis though, just because I like Giannis. I
Me
understand the Gobert
too.
structure.
I
Like
don't
it
like the
just
fact
feels
that he
weird.
beat the Nets last year, but I really do like Giannis.
Ooh, side note, do you think? I know you had some feelings about it, but I don't remember. Do you feel like there was an intent to hurt Kyrie on that play?
So I don't think he wanted to hurt him, but it looks sketchy. Like, Giannis isn't the type of guy that's gonna go out of his way to hurt you.
No, yeah, and that's the
But
thing. That's why I think people have doubts about it.
it was
But
a
it's
shady
just,
play. Like, you saw him jump and you stepped under him. Like, what you think was gonna happen?
yeah.
But once again, Giannis is not a dirty player. Giannis is
No,
not like,
he's
Giannis
also
knows.
6'11". He knows a guy smaller than him is going up for the ball. That's probably to step in and make, an attempt at it. But he also didn't make an attempt at the ball. It was
He
Kyrie's
didn't.
ball
He
the
just
entire
ran to
time.
him and just
And
let him fall on
yeah,
him. That's why I'm
yeah.
like, it was a dirty
It
play, but I
it
don't
looked
think
weird.
Giannis is
Yeah,
not a dirty player. That's why I'm kind of conflicted, because I
yeah,
did not like the play at all.
yeah,
The guy jumped. You didn't even jump. You just stood under him. That's wild.
yeah.
And that's everybody was pointing like, yo, you can't do that at the 3-point line, but you can do it under the basket. That's wild.
Mm.
And they
That's
still
what
almost
got
got washed in this series.
Kawhi
If
hurt at the 3 point line. Yeah,
exactly, if KD's foot was a size 14 instead of a 17, I wouldn't even go that far. If he was a size 16 instead of a
yeah. I was gonna
17,
say he was only an
he's
inch over the
making
line.
that shot
Yeah,
and going home, because he was hype, and then he realized nobody was jumping, and he was like,
yeah,
man, my foot's too big.
yeah.
So
Crazy finish. 6 man.
Low-key, it's gonna end up being either Patty Mills or Jordan Clarkson. And
I can see Clarkson winning again though,
I don't think
but
Patty
I don't
Mills is
know.
gonna play enough games to get 6 man because he starts every other game. So that's the only thing. If he starts, if he doesn't play off the bench enough, then it's gonna be Clarkson. And at this point, I think Kyrie's either gonna get vaccinated or the Nets are gonna just take the fines, like I said earlier. So I'm gonna go with Jordan Clarkson again because he's still a bucket. But I want to
I'll
say
probably
Patty
pick
Mills.
Clarkson.
No, I'm going Patty.
I'd say yeah.
I
You can go
believe
Patty.
he's gonna play enough bench games. And if he's not, I still went with my guy to win 6 man, so it's fine with me.
What's his name? Levert's a starter, right? Still in Indy.
Yeah, but they're trying to trade him to the Cavs. Where if he goes to the Cavs, he's gonna start. He's a starter on Indy, I think. When he plays, he's always hurt though.
Yeah, I mean the only other time I would have thought he wasn't was on Indy, just because he was hurt, and I think they just like played him whenever. I would have picked him for a 6 man, but I also think he's not scoring enough. I would probably say Clarkson. I'll go Clarkson just because that's the one guy I know who is a solid 6 man.
I'm going, like I said, it should be Clarkson. And if Patty Mills doesn't play enough games, it will be Clarkson. I just want Patty Mills to win because he's literally saved our season.
Oh, I want Cam Reddish to play, but he's going to be a starter.
Yeah, he's also not going to play enough games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he played for the Hawks as a 6 man technically, because he wasn't.
How long has he been out?
2 weeks now.
Oh, and he wasn't putting up numbers like that though, so that's the only thing.
That's the only problem. Yeah, he was only putting numbers when Trae Young was hurt. Most improved.
Patty Mills.
This is a good one. Just based off off what he was doing on the Spurs. Yeah. Anybody who moves from the Spurs to a new team, automatic.
Probably RJ.
I would like RJ, but I don't think he's consistent enough.
You don't really got to be consistent. You gotta remember, Brando wasn't consistent at the beginning of the year. He got consistent as the year went on, and then started carrying you guys.
Yeah, so but he wasn't.
Carry, that's it.
He was still like an all-star conversation like throughout the entire season because he was like the one guy on the Knicks. I don't know if RJ's there yet.
Can you say Ja Morant is most improved?
I was thinking because he's improved his game literally. Like he's putting up better numbers than he was last year. Could you say DeRozan?
Nah.
Only because why?
He was there before.
As what?
You can't pick somebody to be most improved that returned to where they were. DeRozan was top 2 shooting guard in the Eastern Conference for like 10 years. Like you can't say, "Oh, you're most improved."
I don't know, for 10 years, but I would definitely say he was already there. Like he was already at the mountaintop type thing. I just feel again, I still think the same thing. When you're on the Spurs,
you get away from the Spurs, you win a chip.
Yeah, you probably want to be better.
I hope God.
If I'm looking at Ja Morant's numbers, especially between this year and last year, you can absolutely make an argument that he could win it most improved.
The issue is they're gonna look at him and say, "It's Ja Morant. He showed us what he could do before." But it's like that was in the playoffs.
Not like this.
Yeah, it's a big
not like this. I would say him. You could argue Anthony Edwards maybe, just because almost the same reason as Morant.
Yeah, that's true.
He's putting up 22 a game right now. He wasn't doing that last year. Bridges.
But that's also only his second year. Third year. Is it third year or second?
Second. He was a rookie last year, I think. Pretty sure.
Who was the number? Sure. Was he the number 2? No, he was the number 1 pick. Oh, James Wiseman went 2.
Yeah,
I'm thinking James Wiseman was the number 1 overall pick. No, Anthony Edwards was. Okay, so yeah, I don't think they'll give him most improved until next year. Like if he makes a big jump into his third year, then you can start talking. But second year, I don't know.
Bridges, Garland, any of those two? LaMelo. Same issue.
LaMelo was also nice last year, so they're not going to do
DeJounte Murray.
DeJounte Murray. Nah, I wouldn't go that far. He's not making a name of himself right now.
So he's one of the best players on the Spurs. That's the only other way I would say that.
It would have to be Ja or but he's
I'd
in
make
his
an
third year
argument for
now.
Bridges. I'd say Miles Bridges.
Well, he's not putting up numbers though. Like he put up
He's
numbers against you guys. He's not.
no, but
He's not
yeah, he
averaging
is.
25.
He's averaging 20,
Yeah, but
almost
that's
20.
what was he doing last year? Like 17. That's not that big of a difference.
I don't know, dog. I feel like this is like a career year for him. Like usually
Oh,
it goes to like career
100%.
years, right?
But
Yeah.
it's not that big of a jump. Like Julius Randle went from averaging 15 to 25.
I
Like
think it was less. I think it was like 12.
yeah,
No,
like
dude, you could absolutely no. Miles Bridges last year was averaging 12.7 a game.
okay, then maybe. I thought he was
I think
averaging
he
like
can be in the
17.
conversation. Nah, like it was just because he was. You know why? You know why I blame the Hornets? The announcers. The announcers gassed every single player on the Hornets,
Precious!
like as if he's killing them. He's stabbing them. He's like, oh no. Yeah.
Yo, their announcers are the best though, because like they make you
Yeah.
like basketball more than you actually do. Because
Yeah.
I mean, this man posterized a couple people this year, and like they made it seem like it was game winner,
Yeah.
NBA Finals, like.
Bridges. No. Wait, so okay. I'm making my pick, most improved Bridges. Who are you making your pick? You said Ja?
I can you say it's I want to say like they're not gonna pick him because he's gonna be in the MVP conversation, and they usually don't give it to both, but he might be.
Listen, I think there's a solid argument for him. He's not doing what he was doing last year.
I can't say Ja.
Playing a lot better. Who would you say?
I can't. I don't know. I can't. I want to say Ja so badly, but you can't because really and truly, he was a problem.
You could say RJ. You could say RJ. I would not be mad saying
I'm gonna say RJ. It's very unlikely, but I'm gonna say RJ. I'm gonna I'm locking that in.
You did say Patty, but you said six.
No, Patty Mills not gonna get most improved because he's been in the league 10 years. It's too late for that now. They usually give it to people that came back. Oh, okay. Come back.
Actually, NBA doesn't even have an award for comeback player of the year. We just have it for ourselves. The NFL has them. Do you want to come back to that, or
no? Let's go.
We also have coach.
Let's just go quickly then. Comeback player of the year is It's gonna be either Clay, just because he plays 3 years. They're gonna give him regardless.
It could be like at that point, it doesn't even matter what numbers he puts up.
Doesn't matter.
The fact that he's back this year, it could easily be Clay.
Like KD, I don't think he won comeback player of the year last year, but he should have.
Last year was who though?
But no, because there was no award. There's no award.
Oh, there's no award. Who did we pick for it?
I picked KD because he didn't play in 2 years.
Yeah. Oh, I think I picked Porzingis last year.
Porzingis. Somebody said trade Randall to the Mavs for Jalen Brunson and Kristaps Porzingis.
And no, Shane, that's who was in the conversation. It was Jalen Brunson, not Porzingis. God forbid we get back Porzingis because the Madison Square Garden
is a bucket, and y'all need a point guard, so I wouldn't mind actually.
Yeah,
but I'm a Nets fan, so I can't really talk. From the outside, everybody looks good. Yeah, I don't have a point guard at all. Kemba has 2 arthritic knees and plays once every 3 weeks. It feels like.
Comeback player. We're locking Clay. I don't really see anybody else.
It has to be. Like there's literally
wasn't
nobody
hurt last
else.
year, right?
No.
Cat wasn't hurt.
He was hurt, but it wasn't like big
like significant.
Yeah, like he missed some time.
Oh, you know who we could consider? I mean, he's already put up numbers, but he's also really, really improved for most improved. SGA, Shy.
But he was a bucket last year, bro.
I know, but the numbers are still showing that he was a lot better this year. He's put up 22 this year.
He was a bucket last year. But
B.I. was hurt last year or no?
Yeah, for a little bit.
Ingram?
He's not going to win most improved.
Nah. Comeback player, I don't think there's any other storyline.
It's like the whole Trey Mancini thing. Like, he came back from cancer. He's the comeback player of the year. I don't care what else you did. You could have missed 18 years. He came back from cancer. Yeah. Clay tore his ACL, then tore his Achilles. Back to back. He's comeback player of the year. He missed 941 days.
Of basketball.
Sit down. He's comeback player of the year.
On 2 bum knees. And was still putting up threes in his little My Park basketball court at home. Last thing, coach of the year.
This year it's gonna be what's his name?
From Phoenix?
Chicago.
Oh, Oh, I don't even know the Chicago coach.
It's Boylan or whoever
Nate Boylan.
the old OKC coach was like 3 years ago.
Billy Donovan. Billy
Is it
Donovan.
Billy Donovan?
Yeah, he's the
Yeah, I
Chicago
think it
Bulls
is.
head coach because he was in OKC.
Yeah,
Um,
it's gonna be
Suns
him.
coach didn't win it last year. He could win it this year.
Big. No, he won. He won the other one. You know how they have two different versions. One's like the actual NBA award, and one is like the. You know how like NFL has like AP.
Yeah.
It was like a
But I
version of
think
that the NBA does, and then they won
we
that one. He won
considered
that one.
we just considering AP. Like that's what they do at the end of the year, like the big one.
Yeah, so that's the.
I mean Tibbs won that one for me last year. Billy Donovan could definitely win it for the Bulls solely because of what the Bulls are doing right now.
He should. It's
Yeah.
either him or Steve Nash, and they're not going to give
the
it to
Grizzlies?
Ooh, what's his name?
Taylor Jenkins.
Yes, he's good.
He's definitely a contender.
Let's be real. The crazy thing about it is the Grizzlies played better without Ja, and I think he felt some type of way. And that boy came back on a mission.
Dylan
Brooks,
Jackson,
Jaren Jackson Jr., Dylan Brooks.
Yeah. Dylan Brooks.
They came like on a mission, and then Dylan Brooks got hurt, and Ja said, "I'm MVP now. Don't worry, I got you."
He said, "Listen, I know this team is good now, and I know they can win without me, but watch what happens when I come back. You're gonna see a star."
Exactly.
All right, I'm locking my pick then as a Grizzly coach because I think if they can at least pull this the entire season, they're a top 4 seed in the West right now. I think they could do it.
I think I gotta lock in Billy Donovan because
Billy Donovan. The Bulls are the 1 seed.
No one expected the Bulls to be even remotely this good.
Absolutely.
Like, you knew you have DeRozan on your team, you have a chance. But Vucevic, Zach Levine. Of course, Zach Levine hurt himself. I don't know what happened to him. No, I don't know if he's back.
I think his ankle or his thigh.
With his right knee or something like that. That's what hurt him at first, but then they did an MRI, but I never got the results. So I don't know. But hopefully he's good because that team deserves to be good.
Yeah. They put up crazy numbers. They lost a couple weird games. They were the first team to lose by 25 plus 2 games in a row.
At home. Like, I think both games were at home, which is wild.
Yeah. That's insane stuff. All right. What's the score here? Clippers about to score again. I can't believe they're winning right now.
Yeah, they're
going crazy. Oh, man.
4-minute stuff.
Aside from that, though, I think that's all the awards. Listen, honestly, NBA season has been good. I'm going to reiterate that just because, like every year.
The East is good, man.
Yeah, I think they even find more ways to make a sport that's played, middle of the week, weekends, holidays, aside of football, to be really, really entertaining. And not just on the court, but just like storylines, like player come-ups, like there's always something that you can follow in the NBA, whether you like basketball or not. There's always something to follow going on. If you're a Lakers fan, I know you're dying right now.
Westbrook.
But the light at the end of the tunnel, it's there. Mm-hmm. It's not heaven. It might be the promised land, but it's there. Knicks fans, the lights at the end of the tunnel, just pick up the map. It's on the floor.
Yeah.
Nets fans, lights at the end of the tunnel, y'all halfway there. Y'all are walking. Just make sure KD's on.
I was about to say, we got to walk a little slower now. Like KD catch up. I know we good.
Listen, other than that, episode 25, D-Rod and Shane Sports Podcast. This will be up on YouTube. Keep checking us out. We might be moving platforms. We'll give you guys more information on that. But for now, big thanks to Podbean right now, and then distributing that also to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Pandora Podcasts, iHeartRadio. Did I miss one? And then we're always on YouTube, video-wise.
6, right? Yeah, 6.
Yeah, so 6. Kind of. Boom, boom, boom. And then tune in next week. I think we got a real fun episode coming up for our next one.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe another draft. Well, a draft. You got to see the first draft first. When that gets
Yo, just send it to me. I'll try it.
I'm going to put it, tonight. Yeah. And then, just subscribing. We're on TikTok now. Oh, that's big.
Yeah.
You got to check us out on TikTok because now
we only got one video up, but follow us on TikTok.
We're going to be posting like every day because we got next content. NFL playoffs content. There's a lot of stuff going on. Just tune in next week. We'll be here. D-Rod Shane Sports Podcast. Boom, boom, boom. Follow us on Twitter.
Yes.
It's down there at D-Rod and Shane Sports Podcast.
You know where to find us, so we don't gotta go through it again. But
it's always in the links below. You know,
always
every day.
Look at the links.
Yeah, click them. Interact with us on Twitter. Tell us you hate our takes. Prove us wrong. Go back to old episodes and say you got this wrong.
We've had some pretty funny takes. Like some of them have been all-time bad takes, but they made sense when we said it, and then they ended up being the worst possible takes ever. We're like
picking straight Yankees picks as our awards season
went over
last year.
Garrett Cole was the Cy Young until the last 2 weeks of the season, and nobody was more clutch than Aaron Judge. So if it wasn't for Shohei putting up 50 and also having a 2 ERA, there's no like Aaron Judge would have been the MVP. So let's
listen, our takes are fire. All right, don't even doubt any of that. We got fire takes, all of them. Not one has missed in our mind. Not one.
Hey, we make sense. All right, see you later.
Man.
See you in the next one.